sport specific task as possible, even mimicking the environment as making them fatigued. And I'm assuming
Yes.
and do you feel like that's an important aspect of ACL rehab that's often missed?
So, oh my gosh, that's a hot debate right now. Matter
Yeah.
of fact, Timothy Hewitt just tweeted something the other day that fatigue does not matter. Because what happens is the literature shows that fatigue, we've not vetted out that fatigue truly is a risk factor for ACLs. As intuitive it is to everybody, the researchers have not figured out. I feel like the researchers have not figured out why that is the case. Matter of fact, there's a researcher out there. Her name is Dawn Comstock, and she developed the database that all athletic training EMRs go into, where most of this research is pulled from. And I asked her about this scenario. So I had a soccer player who was in a soccer tournament. She played all day on Friday. They concluded at the end of the day. They wrapped up, got off the field at 9 o'clock, went to their hotel, and teenagers, they went right to sleep and didn't stay up or anything like that. They got up the next morning. They were on the field at 6 o'clock in the morning. They started their first game at 7, and she tore her ACL in the first quarter of the game.
Mm.
In that instance, her ACL injury is documented as a non-fatigued incident, but we would all agree that fatigue that she had the day before and the lack of sleep that she had coming off early in the morning, she is tired. She
Yeah.
is fatigued. But the way that the research looks at it, they only look at the first quarter. They don't take all of those other factors into play. So, if you look at the literature, there's a lot of literature that shows that fatigue changes running biomechanics. Fatigue changes loading of the lumbar spine. Fatigue changes loading of the rotator cuff in pitchers. For some reason, the ACL is immune to fatigue. I don't believe that. I
Yeah.
think we just haven't figured out how to research it. So when people, so fatigue is important to me. And what I've found is that when we do address it in the way that we do, we have a significant reduction of not just ACL injuries, but all lower extremity injuries. And most importantly, we actually track claim submission data. So we also see a significant decrease in healthcare costs. Because the other thing that we see is that when injuries do occur, the severity of those injuries is less. So when you are running down the field and your knee goes into that valgus, maybe you get a meniscal injury versus a meniscal tear. So, which is some time off the field and some ice versus actually having surgery. So what we found is that the severity of the injuries was actually much less. So our surgical cases dropped significantly. So we had a decrease in overall injuries. We had a decrease in healthcare costs, and surgery cases were significantly reduced.